Is there anything that you can tell us, please?
I can't tell you anything, man. Is that a bullet hole? That's weird. Yeah. Police! It's not gonna be anything.
A locked door, a quiet apartment, and a chilling secret waiting inside. What really happened to 34-year-old Martel Darien, and who pulled the trigger? When police arrived for what seemed like a simple welfare check, they had no idea they were about to uncover a brutal crime scene straight out of a nightmare.
I could see the individual lying on his back with the dry blood all around him.
It was pretty obvious he had been looking out the peephole to someone when he was shot.
Blood pooled near the doorway. A body lay beneath the peephole, and one small clue hinted the victim had seen his killer's face just seconds before he died. But the most shocking twist, the entire murder had been caught on camera by the killer herself.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the Towers?
Yes.
Okay, and your name?
My name is Joya Duran.
On January 26, 2021, San Antonio officers arrived at the Towers Apartments on Lantana Parkway to check on 34-year-old Martel Darien after his family couldn't reach him for days.
San Antonio Police, this is Christy. How can I help you?
I'm in Louisiana, but I have a stepson out there in San Antonio, and family members have been trying to call him since Saturday, and we haven't been getting any response back. And we wanted to know if you guys could do a wellness check just to see if everything's okay with him.
And who are we checking on?
Martel, Martell, Duran.
When police knocked on his door, there was no answer, only silence. Then they noticed something alarming. What looked like a bullet hole in the front door. Realizing this could be serious, officers tried using a key from maintenance, but the door wouldn't open. It was locked from the inside.
Is that a bullet hole? That's weird. Yeah. Police!
That meant whoever was inside didn't want to be found. While maintenance drilled through the lock, officers checked the garage and found Martel's car untouched for several days, adding to their concern. When the door finally opened, a grim scene awaited. Just a few feet inside, Martel lay lifeless on the floor, a trail of dried blood leading from a gunshot wound to his forehead. The apartment was in complete disarray, dishes shattered, furniture overturned, and women's belongings scattered everywhere, hinting at a violent struggle. Inside the closet, detectives found an empty gun box that once held a 9mm pistol, but the weapon was gone. It soon became clear. Martel had likely been shot with his own gun by someone who knew exactly where to find it. Before investigators could dig deeper into Martel Darien's murder, they had to wait for homicide detectives and forensic teams to arrive. But as they secured the scene, something unexpected happened. A woman showed up asking about Martel, someone they hadn't anticipated. It was his estranged wife, Joya Darien. She explained that she'd come to check on him after not hearing from him for a few days.
Hi, ma'am. Uh-huh. Are you related to him?
Are you guys able to get in?
Yes, ma'am. There's some officers up there, but it's best if you just stay down here right now. I'm going to go talk to the office. Okay?
So we can't go up there?
Not right now.
When officers refused to let her upstairs, a wave of fear washed over her. She called Martel's parents immediately, sensing something terrible had happened.
Is there anything that you can tell us, please?
I can't tell you anything, man. I can't tell you anything yet.
He can't tell me anything right now. He says I have to wait for a detective.
As detectives began piecing things together, Joya's sudden appearance struck them as suspicious. They started asking questions, trying to learn when she'd last seen her husband. She explained that she had last spoken to him through text a few days earlier, and that he had visited her apartment to fix his hair.
Martel.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
I spoke to him on Friday.
Friday?
Through text message.
Okay.
And then Thursday, he came over to do his hair at my apartment.
Uh-huh.
I live by the dentist.
Okay. So Friday you weren't here, nobody was here, then you didn't come visit him, right?
I don't know who was here. I know he was working with people and doing music.
Okay. Okay.
While her story seemed harmless, Her timing and the emotion she showed made detectives uneasy. Out of caution, they decided to bring her in for formal questioning. Meanwhile, other officers began canvassing the apartment complex for leads. That's when the investigation took a turn. One of Martel's neighbors who lived just below his unit revealed something crucial. She'd often heard heated arguments coming from his apartment, and on the night of January 22nd, the same night his family last heard from him, the shouting had reached a new level. Frustrated by the noise, she had recorded the argument on her phone to show management. Though the recording didn't capture any violence, it clearly revealed the voices of a man and a woman arguing inside. It was confirmation that Martel wasn't alone that night. But another neighbor across the hall provided an even more chilling account.
She has it pointed kind of up toward the ceiling, and you hear two people arguing, a male and a female. They're arguing about, but you do hear yelling and screaming back and forth between two individuals.
That evening, while waiting for a food delivery, she heard frantic banging outside her door. When she opened it, she saw a thin woman, barefoot and visibly distressed, pounding on Martel's door. She recognized her face. She'd seen her a few times before.
So I remember hearing knocking, and so I opened the door, and that's when I saw the girl that I've seen maybe about 2 or 3 times, and she was just banging and banging and banging on his door. And I guess I was kind of taken aback because I wasn't sure exactly what was going on, because she was barefoot and she had nothing in her hands, and she just looked a little bit out of it, facial expression wise. Okay. So I immediately just apologized for opening the door because I didn't mean to interrupt whatever was happening, because I figured she was.
The description matched Joya perfectly. The neighbor recalled that the woman looked disoriented and anxious, her expression blank but tense. It seemed she was trying desperately to get inside. With this information, detectives focused their attention back on Joya. At the police station, they asked her about their relationship and what had gone wrong between them. She described a once-loving marriage that had soured over the last 2 years.
What kind of relationship or marriage did you guys have?
It was great. We had a lot in common. We both loved music. I did a little music as well and things like that. Towards the end, I would say the last 2 years is kind of when it got rocky. I don't know, sometimes they can get a little mean and stuff.
Their arguments, she claimed, often stemmed from Martel's lifestyle as an up-and-coming rapper. She said she disapproved of the people he associated with and the flashy image he projected online, posting jewelry, money, and even guns on social media.
With the music stuff, I really didn't like some of the people that he worked with. Kind of shady. A lot of times what happens is people get in beefs about music, and then they flash and stuff, which I told him not, don't do that. He did purchase a gun, and I told him that when we were together, I never wanted a gun in the house.
What type of gun was it?
It wasn't just a handgun. I don't know. And the one thing that I told him is don't be showing it on Instagram. Don't be doing all that flashy stuff.
Did he do any of that stuff on Instagram?
Yeah.
According to her, he had purchased a handgun for protection, despite her objections. Her explanation painted a picture of tension, but also gave detectives a possible alternative theory. Maybe Martel's death was tied to his public image.
Did he flash money a lot on Instagram, or?
He may have, but I know one thing that he did was he liked a lot of jewelry.
Okay. Obviously he's flashing. He's doing some of that stuff on Instagram.
He's always been flashy and cocky.
He'd often flaunted his wealth and rapped about street life, behaviors that could have made him a target. Still, the evidence pointed too strongly toward Joya to ignore. Then came a breakthrough that changed everything. While reviewing emergency call logs from January 22nd, detectives discovered that someone had actually called 911 for a welfare check on Martel that very night. To their surprise, the caller was Joya herself.
I need police now.
Okay, and your name?
My name is Joya Duran.
Okay, and what's going on?
I'm trying to get in my apartment, but I'm not able to get in.
Yet, she had never mentioned this during her interview. In the recording, she told the dispatcher she couldn't get into her apartment and feared her husband was hurt, describing a hole in the door and saying he wasn't responding. This revelation left detectives stunned. There had been an opportunity to reach Martel earlier, possibly right after the incident, but the call hadn't led anywhere.
And I see I'm just not able to get in, and I think my husband is injured.
Spell the first name?
Joya, Joia.
Okay. And your husband's name?
Martel.
Last name?
Deron, Deroun.
Your husband's hurt?
Yes.
Do you hear him?
No, he's not responding, and I called him, and he's just not responding. And there's a hole in his door, and I don't know what's going on, honestly.
There's a hole in the door?
Yes.
When they traced it back, they found out why. The address Joya gave wasn't Martel's apartment at all. The officers who responded that night had gone to a completely different building, one that was still under construction. On top of that, she had misspelled both her first and last name in the report, which made tracing the call even harder. Detectives couldn't ignore how strange it all seemed. A mistyped name could be a simple mistake, but the wrong address and the timing of her arrival at the scene days later felt too calculated to overlook. Was she panicking and confused that night, or deliberately trying to delay discovery of the crime? Just as they debated their next move, another lead surfaced. One of the neighbors in Martel's building had a Ring security camera installed outside their door. Detectives quickly obtained the footage, hoping it might show who came and went from the apartment around the time of the murder. Whatever the video contained, they knew it could finally answer the question that had haunted them since the beginning. Who had really been with Martel that night? And what exactly had happened behind that locked door? The footage from the neighbor's Ring camera revealed what truly happened on the night of January 22nd. And it was shocking. Just before the 911 call was made, the camera picked up the sound of a single gunshot. Moments later, it showed a slender woman walking down the corridor, holding a phone in one hand and a gun in the other. But it wasn't Joya Darren. The woman caught on camera was someone else entirely. Detectives, confused by the discovery, showed the footage to Joya, who immediately recognized the woman.
Do you remember any of the people that you kind of hung out with during that rap
No,
group?
I only know of one person, and that was the girl I sent the picture to, the detective.
What's that girl's name?
It's Sasha.
Is it S-H-A?
Mm-hmm. Last name Skare, S-K-A-R-E.
S-K-A-R-E. Let me see. So this is her?
That's her.
Her name was Sasha Skar, a 21-year-old aspiring musician who had been closely connected to Martel. She wasn't just a collaborator who appeared in his music videos. Their relationship had become deeply personal.
She had a lot of potential you can see from her shows. She checked all the boxes, as far as the music, the talent, the persona. She was pretty much the whole package.
Joya explained that Martel had been seeing Sasha since their separation, and though she tried to stay out of it, she had seen photos of Sasha at Martel's apartment and even on his car.
And I believe that's who he was currently seeing now, since we've been separated.
So why do you believe that he was seeing her?
She messaged me on Instagram, just kind of alluding to the fact that she wanted to ask me about the relationship that we had, me with him.
According to Joya, Martel had shared his frustrations about Sasha. Their relationship had grown tense, filled with arguments and jealousy.
And I was like, what can I help you with? And then she never said anything after that. But I guess she was wanting to find out, why we separated, or,
if there was any still kind of feelings between y'all two.
Exactly. And the reason I say that about the Instagram is because there's pictures of her at his place, sitting on his car and, just different things like that.
He was especially upset about her bringing other men to his home and disrespecting his boundaries. Text messages between the two revealed that Martel had confronted Sasha several times about it, and those disputes were becoming more heated. Based on the evidence and the neighbors' accounts, detectives pieced together what likely happened that night. Sasha and Martel's argument had spiraled out of control. In the chaos, she managed to grab his gun and leave the apartment.
In the beginning, it was more of a teacher-student type relationship where he was trying to develop her music and all that stuff like that.
Was she a singer? Or was she just some kind of like a promoter?
I believe she was trying to be a promoter, but she did do music as well. She had a couple of songs that she came over and done.
Did he ever confide in you his relationship with her?
He would just tell me that, yeah, I want to, continue working with her and doing the music and stuff like that.
And it was very telling. He explained to her he was upset because she was bringing other men around. He didn't like that. And he had asked her to stop, but she kept doing it. And he confronted her about it. And we think that's what started this big fight between the two of them.
Martel, trying to protect himself, locked the door behind her, trapping her belongings inside. Angry and desperate to get her things back, Sasha began pounding on the door, demanding to be let in.
I had to defend myself. You attacked me. I had to get you out of here. But you need to bring my gun back.
Martel told her she could retrieve her belongings once she returned the weapon. But instead of walking away or calling for help, she fired through the door, striking Martel in the forehead and killing him instantly.
Her opportunity there is to leave or call 911, but she didn't do that. Instead she fired a gun into the door while he's standing on the other side and then fled. Sasha Scar was our suspect and we needed to find her.
An autopsy later confirmed that the bullet recovered from Martel's body came from a 9mm handgun, the same type that had gone missing from his apartment.
The autopsy was performed on Mr. DeRuin. A projectile was recovered from Martel and was confirmed to be a 9mm, which is the same caliber as the gun that was missing from Martel's apartment.
With mounting evidence, detectives secured an arrest warrant for Sasha Scar. But when they arrived at her residence, she had already vanished. It was clear she was on the run, and with the gun still in her possession, police feared she could harm someone else. The U.S. Marshals were brought in to help track her down.
So I get in touch with the U.S. Marshal Service, who then starts their manhunt. So we're actively now searching for Sasha with an active warrant for murder.
As investigators searched for Sasha, they uncovered another disturbing fact. This wasn't her first brush with violence. In 2019, she had been involved in a botched drug deal that ended with her boyfriend's death. She was charged with aggravated robbery and assault with a deadly weapon and had been out on bond when Martel was killed. The case quickly drew national attention, especially after it was revealed that Martel was a cousin of global superstar Beyoncé. For 2 weeks, Sasha remained hidden, evading capture. Then, in a surprising turn, she surrendered herself to authorities, saying she wanted to face the situation head-on.
After I seen the news and everybody telling me, you're wanted, I realized that I was wanted for murder. I called my lawyer, and my lawyer just walked me through, as far as the process would go. Just run away from everything. I have to deal with this because I have a family.
After charging her with murder, I went to interview Sasha Scar at the jail. She seemed exhausted.
Though she refused to speak during interrogation, the evidence told the story.
Can you identify yourself, your full name, birthday for me?
Sasha Scar.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I just call you Sasha? Okay. Before we get started, Sasha, because you are here in custody, I need to advise you of your rights, okay? The reason I'm here is to give you an opportunity to give your side of the story of what happened, okay? You be willing to do that?
Not without my lawyer present.
Okay. I totally understand that part now, okay? I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Give me 1 second.
Her DNA matched the broken acrylic nail found inside Martel's apartment. It was the final piece investigators needed. Sasha Scar was charged with premeditated first-degree murder, bringing a tragic end to a story of jealousy, rage, and a life cut short. The trial of Sasha Scar began on August 23, 2023, more than 2 years after the brutal killing of Martel Darren. Before it started, Sasha had turned down a plea deal that could have given her a 20-year sentence. Now, with the trial underway, everything was on the line. If convicted, she faced life in prison. When she took the stand, Sasha tried to paint a picture of chaos and fear. She claimed that the night of Martel's death began as an argument that spiraled out of control. According to her, Martel became angry when he saw her speaking on the phone with another man, a videographer. She said that he lashed out and hit her, and in panic she fought back, trying to escape his grasp. Once she broke free, she said her first instinct was to grab the gun, something she claimed was meant only to protect herself, not to harm him.
After you grab the weapon, the gun, What happened next?
I told him, don't touch me. I started backing up out of the bedroom. When I backed up out of the bedroom, he started following me. I started grabbing dishes out of the cabinets and throwing it in between us.
Sasha told the jury that she backed out of the bedroom as Martel followed her, throwing dishes to keep him away. She said she then ran outside with the gun, but realized her belongings were still inside. When she went back and pounded on the locked apartment door, the gun allegedly went off by accident, killing Martel instantly. But her story didn't quite fit.
Did you know he was standing behind the door?
No, sir, I didn't.
After the gun goes off, what happened next?
That's when I ended up calling the police.
The prosecution reminded the jury that right after the shooting, Sasha had called 911 pretending to be Martel's wife, not herself. When asked why, she said she was confused and panicked, unsure what to do.
Why did you give a false name in the 911?
At that time, I really wasn't in the right mind, and I'm not really used to calling the police, so I felt like since that was his wife, I just felt like I should, I guess, present myself as her.
She insisted she wasn't in her right mind, claiming she thought identifying herself as Martel's wife would somehow help. Sasha said she tossed the gun into a nearby dumpster afterward, but investigators never found it despite extensive searches. Her version of events was riddled with holes, and the evidence simply didn't back it up. Still, Sasha stood by her claim that she never meant to kill Martel, that she only wanted to get his attention, not end his life. The prosecution saw things differently.
Miss Carter, when he fired that shot, did you know Martel was behind that door?
No, sir, I didn't.
Did you mean to hurt Martel?
Not at all.
Tell the jury, what was your intent when that gun fired?
I guess my intent was just to get his attention.
So when he wanted you to leave, why not just get out?
Because not only was I intoxicated, he had brought me there, and that was the second time he had did the same thing, as far as bringing me to his place and then all of a sudden just asking me to leave.
They pointed to the forensics, which told a much clearer story. The bullet hole in Martel's door was perfectly straight, suggesting a direct, deliberate shot. Sasha had claimed she jumped over the counter before firing, but photos of the scene showed the counter was too small and nothing on it had been disturbed. Her story didn't align with physics, much less the evidence.
But if you look at the door from Martel's apartment, the bullet hole is directly straight into the doorway. And so that just doesn't line up forensically. She had said she jumped over a counter. The prosecutors took a photo on the counter. It's not a very big counter, are bowls. He's like, how did none of these bowls move?
To add to that, her description of Martel as abusive didn't match what anyone else knew about him. Family members, including his estranged wife Joya, testified that Martel had never been violent toward them. The prosecution argued that Sasha's story was an attempt to twist the narrative, to shift blame and mask what was really an intentional act. After just over 2 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict: guilty on all charges. Before sentencing, Martel's family members were invited to speak. The courtroom fell silent as they shared the pain his death had caused. His mother spoke through tears, describing sleepless nights and a grief that never faded. She said losing her son in such a violent way was something no mother should ever have to endure.
Every day is very hard. I haven't slept in a very long time. It's just, as a mother, to lose a son and to lose him that way, it's unimaginable, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, nobody, ever.
Joya, Martel's estranged wife, also addressed Sasha directly. She said the pain Sasha had brought upon their family was unbearable, and that she deserved every consequence coming her way. Her words carried years of heartbreak and anger, echoing through the courtroom.
I do have some type of hurt in my heart, because I feel like if we would have never broken up, this would have never happened.
Sasha, the pain and agony that that you brought upon my family is unbearable. You deserve every single consequence that you caused from your own actions.
Finally, on September 1st, 2023, the verdict became a sentence. Sasha Skar, just 24 years old, was given 55 years in prison. She will be eligible for parole in 2048. Even after being convicted, she continued to insist the shooting was an accident, that Martel had been her friend and she never wanted to hurt him.
I didn't intend to actually shoot him and kill him, because, he was my friend. Why would you want that to happen to somebody you were close with?
For Martel's family, the verdict brought justice but not peace. They still visit his grave, still celebrate his birthday, and still play his music as if he were there with them. To the world, Martel was a rising artist connected to a global superstar. But to his loved ones, he was far more than that. A son, a brother, a friend whose dreams were cut short far too soon.
We still grieve over him every day. We always celebrate his birthday as if he was still here. We'll go visit him.
His family takes comfort in knowing that his music lives on, even though he no longer can. The loss remains deep, but so does the love they still hold for him. What really happened inside that apartment that night? Was it a tragic accident or something far darker? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more true crime cases that uncover the truth behind the headlines.